Hey, what's going on, Dolphins fans? Welcome to the Fins Up Network. No OTAs to report on from Wednesday. The team will actually be back on the field on Thursday for day 6 of OTAs. But we did have a few pieces of news to hit on for today. But before we jump into that, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit subscribe. I think we're right around like 900-ish right now. But when we hit to 1,000, shortly after that, we'll be doing a video that's going to include a giveaway. So make sure you are hitting subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let's jump into today's news. Channing Tindall has officially signed with the Miami Dolphins. It's a 4-year deal, just over $5 million. That leaves Eric Ezukanma as the only Dolphins draft pick that has not signed. Skylar Thompson has signed. Cameron Good has signed. But I think we're all excited to see Channing Tindall in this kind of like quarterback spy, delayed blitz role. And at the end of the day, I think he kind of starts. We've talked about this before, starting to some sub packages, get some snaps here and there. But then at the end of the time, see how things click and see what he can really press a Landon Roberts for playing time in year one. But that's what we got for the Channing Tindall signing. I want to go on to this next piece because it essentially is, it's not big news. But hey, I said when I started this, I'm going to cover Dolphins news that pops up, and this apparently happened to be news today. But it is exactly what I just popped on the screen there. It's Mike Florio's latest nonsense. And if you've missed this, it is stemming from a couple of days ago, Tyreek Hill's comments essentially complimenting Tua Tagovailoa, saying he's accurate, he has a strong arm, he's got a good arm talent. But Florio found a way, which he does, to spin the story based on one single line that Tyreek Hill said. I've got that line right here. Tyreek said, "At first, I thought it was going to be something crazy, the ball going all over the place." I'm going to get to what that really means here in a second. But Florio took that line and he went ahead and titled the article, "Tyreek Hill admittedly had low expectations for Tua Tagovailoa." He might as well have titled the article, "Hey, this is clickbait. Click this, Miami Dolphins fan." That is a recipe for clickbait. And I said this on Twitter on the Fins Up Network account. My guess is that Mike Florio saw his click numbers for the month of May. He was a little bit below his goal. He needed a bump before the month ended and decided, you know what? I'm going to spin a harmless, positive story to boot. I'm going to spin it and I am going to rile up Dolphins fans and make news. And unfortunately, that's what he did, because that line that I'm talking about, most people skimmed over it. It was a relatively meaningless portion of the answer that he gave to that question. So people that did dive into this a little bit longer and looked at it word for word took this as Tyreek saying, hey, it's going to take me a little bit of time. I got to get used to a left-handed quarterback throwing me passes. It's coming from a different side. It's going to have a different spin on it. And Mike Florio went ahead and just stirred up Dolphins fans like he does. But to show how like just drummed up this narrative about Tua being weak arm and how it's played up by the national media, basically guys that have watched like a few highlights rather than trying to understand Tua and the Dolphin situation. Cam Wolfe said this on Good Morning Football. I've got this lined up here as well. He said one Dolphins player came to him this offseason and asked, where does the narrative come from that Tua can't throw the deep ball? We've seen him throw nice 50, 60-yard passes in practice. We believe that with a different scheme and a different offensive line, he can do that in a game. And that's 100% it. It's just a drawn-up narrative. The people pushing this narrative, they're not watching the offensive line crumble in front of Tua. They're not watching defenders coming free, forcing Tua to throw check down passes. They're not watching the conservative play calling essentially because of these factors, the offensive line breaking down in front of him, the lack of people being able to pick up blitz protections. They're not watching that. If this scheme, this new Mike McDaniel-led scheme, can fit Tua, which it should, if this new offensive line can hold up and stay healthy, which we're hoping and praying for, this weak arm narrative should be dead at some point in 2022. And one more fun fact here, just to make the Mike Florio article look even lazier than what it is. Tyreek Hill essentially handpicked the Dolphins and Tua. The report was that the Chiefs had several offers and it came down to Tyreek's decision. And we all have seen the reports. It was between the Jets and the Dolphins, and he picked the Dolphins. And there's no denying that Zach Wilson has a stronger arm than Tua. No one is going to debate that. But do you really think Tyreek Hill is going to pick a team where he's going to go there and instantly, already before getting there, have these questions about the quarterback that's going to be throwing him the ball? You really think that he's going to pick a team where that's going to be an issue? Like I said, should be a non-story. It is essentially what it says down there. It is nonsense. But let's end this video on a positive note because it's not the world's biggest news. However, Mike Gesicki was invited to Tight End University. He'll be joined by numerous tight ends. They go to Nashville. It's Kittle, it's Greg Olsen, the former tight end. They all get together. I believe it's in June. They train, they trade experiences on and off the field. Essentially, kind of like a players only feel practice and get together. They probably have a big ass party. That's kind of what my guess is, especially if Gronk is going to be there. But Mike Gesicki will be attending that. But that's what we've got for today, Dolphins fans. If when the team's back on the field tomorrow, if the media is allowed access, we'll have some more reports. Hopefully the social media team gets some more videos. We'll be able to pop them up for the next day of OTAs. But like I said, if you haven't yet, make sure you are clicking subscribe so you can stay on top of all the Dolphins news. That's what we've got for today. And until next time, Dolphins fans, fins up and ignore Mike Florio.